Welcome to the Weird and Witchy Shit podcast. I'm Kristy, your basic witch guide, here to make the mystical a little bit more approachable. Today I'm teaching you some simple glamour magic practices that you can do every single day to change your perception and also change your life. Okay, so addressing the elephant in the room. I have not posted in many moons. For full transparency, I was in the deepest depths of hell, which I won't get into right now, but I've been having a pretty shit time of it. And during that time, nothing really mattered. I kind of let everything fall away. All of like my spiritual practices, all of my self-care practices, all of my witchcraft, everything, like I can't explain. Like I had like zero, all of like my support systems that I normally relied on just kind of fell away. Like it was a true one of those moments in your life where like everything is collapsing around you and everything is burning to the ground and you can't even take care of yourself in those moments. That's kind of what's been going on for me, and that's what kind of led me back into my glamour magic practice again. So I was practicing glamour magic, specifically makeup magic, really intentionally and consistently. I would say from about 2016 to 2019, 2020. And in that time, that is where I kind of felt like the most confident version of myself. I managed to manifest a lot of things into my life that I really wanted to manifest. And it kind of opened up doors for that for me. I have never felt better about myself. I felt really connected to who I was. Like it built a lot of confidence in me doing that practice. And as time kind of went on, I did do glamour magic here and there, but it wasn't something where I was consistently waking up every single day and I was like, okay, like I'm really focusing on my craft, I'm really focusing on myself and my self-identity and how I'm perceived by others. But then when everything fell to shit, I really wanted to step back into that again and help to kind of rebuild this newer version of me. Because I'd been feeling like a little bit lost and honestly like totally energetically, spiritually, mentally, physically drained. I decided to go on to a course and kind of have the support of a coven of witches who are all learning glamour magic in a more structured form, which is actually very different for me because I'm quite a solitary witch. Like I love doing courses, but I do courses not, I guess I've never really done like a magical course before. I've done like a lot of courses like obviously like my yoga teacher training, Reiki, like I love doing loads of different courses like that, but this felt a little bit different in where I was kind of like investing into my magic and investing into glamour magic specifically in a structured form, because I felt like learning off of a teacher and having kind of like guidelines and that more kind of like Saturnian structured routine was going to really help me kind of rebuild things from the ground up. So the course I'm doing is Rule the Room, and it's hosted by Angelica Cratchit. So I actually found her through YouTube. She is a Hades devotee, and if you know me, I love my deities, specifically my Greek deities. So I stumbled upon her, and then she released this course, and I just felt really called to go in on it. A little bit before I went on the course is when I implemented these daily routines, and I have been relatively consistent with it, and we are now a month into the course. So these are all things that are kind of tried and true for me, that's going to kind of support me on like my bigger glamour journey. So that's going to be my focus over the next couple of months, is glamour magic specifically. And then these little routines, like I said, I've been doing these now for maybe around 2 months, and getting really good results with them, as in like feeling a lot better about myself, and have drawn some smaller things into my life here or there. Like, definitely feel like I'm on more of the path. So if you're watching this and you're like, what the hell even is glamour magic? I will tell you. So glamour magic is a form of spell work that's used to alter the perception of something. People usually associate this with beauty magic. Like I said, I did a lot of makeup magic. People kind of think of glamour magic as something that's pretty surface level and kind of fickle, but it actually goes a whole lot deeper than just being, I want to look pretty and I want to be perceived as pretty. Glamour magic is a brilliant tool for bringing different elements of yourself to the forefront, kind of like shining a spotlight on the parts of yourself and amplifying those desired aspects of you. You can use glamour for pretty much anything, if you kind of think of it as like a subtle but powerful way to create an illusion of yourself that aligns with what you wish to bring out, and in turn what you wish to draw in. So this changes not only how you are perceived by others, but over time it changes how you're perceived by yourself. If every single day you wake up and intentionally align your energy and physical self with the best, most confident version of you, you will start to become the best, more confident version of you, and others will view you as that as well. It's not changing who you are, it's just bringing out that side of yourself. And that's what I really like about glamour magic, because while you can use it to do like a whole entire glow up, like there's a lot of talk right now about become unrecognizable. I see like a lot of people talking about that, and I honestly don't really like that idea, because I guess obviously there is times in your life when you're like, I hate everything about myself and I want to become completely unrecognizable in 6 months' time. But I don't really think that's like an entirely healthy mindset to have, and I don't think that's the place to come from. I think when you're approaching this, it's kind of as if you're finding the parts of yourself that you really love and you really connect with, and you're making other people see that in you as well. This also makes it a phenomenal tool for manifestation as well, because you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Align yourself with the energy of the thing that you want, and that'll put you on the same energetic vibration as that thing. Kind of think of it as a way to physically embody your desires. You can also use glamour for protection, invisibility and shielding, because you don't always want to have a spotlight shining on you. In some situations you might want to conceal yourself instead, and we will get into that. So today I'm going to go through some very simple ways that you can implement glamour magic into your day-to-day routine. I will give examples of the things that I do each day, and they're all things that I'd be kind of doing anyway, so it doesn't really take any extra time at all. But it kind of helps to layer in intentions so that I can draw in and ward off the things that I choose to every single day. Morning coffee or morning beverage routine. And I fear I've repeated myself 1,001 times, because I don't know how many times on this podcast I have spoken about enchanting your morning coffee. But that's because I find it to be something so simple to do, and it does really kind of set you up for success for the rest of your day. So that's why I talk about it so much. If you haven't heard me talking about it, then the idea of it is you are consuming something that you have enchanted, and that energy is physically going into your body to work its magic. Like I said, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So I like the idea of having something and consuming it, and it almost being like a little potion where you are physically embodying that energy for the day. I have a coffee every single morning, so I like to use the magical properties of coffee to my advantage. You can put your intention into any drink, even just plain water, and there is that study, don't quote me on it, but they did like a scientific study where they looked at water particles under a magnifying glass or a microscope, and ones that had positive affirmations spoke into it, it actually changed the molecular structure of the water. I'm not a scientist, surprise, surprise, but yeah, that's something that I've heard through manifestation folks before. I guess you could look that up and see what the actual facts of that are. But if there is a way to match your intention to the magical properties of whatever you're drinking, it's only going to amplify that intention. So coffee is known to be protective, cleansing, good at banishing negativity, but it's also energizing, awakening and invigorating. This means that it makes sense to use your coffee as a potion to repel and protect you from what you don't want throughout your day, and to energize and invigorate what you do want to bring into your day. And this is how I use it. So I'm not going to share like all the exact things that I say and do in my practice, because some of it is quite personal, but my coffee incantation is more kind of general, so I'm happy to share kind of exactly what it is that I do in the morning. So I just kind of hold the intention in my mind as I make my coffee, and once the coffee is in the cup, I will say my little incantation while I'm stirring the coffee. So I start by stirring anti-clockwise, and I say, I call upon the spirit of coffee to cleanse me of any and all unwanted or stagnant energy. May this potion ward off negativity and energetically protect me as I move through my day. I take my spoon out as I say, out with the old, and then I put my spoon in as I say, in with the new, and I start stirring clockwise, and I say, I thank this blessed coffee for invigorating and energizing my happiness, positivity and success as I move through my day. And then you can end it with, and so it is, or so mote it be, or however you like to end your incantations, or you can like physically like breathe life into your coffee if you want to do that with, and kind of like activate it with your breath. The reason that I do the stirring, anti-clockwise stirring is really good for if you want to banish something, and then clockwise stirring is really good for kind of drawing in and bringing things into your life, so that's why I do that. You can like layer this as well, so I like to sweeten my coffee, and if I use maple syrup, I might say something like, my day will be sweet, but you can also use like sugar or honey or whatever you want to use. Cinnamon obviously is highly associated with abundance and prosperity, so adding some cinnamon to coffee is a very common prosperity spell. In the evening, I tend to drink a lot of herbal tea, so I will do the same thing. I will work with the ingredients in the tea for a little bit of magic. So you can add lavender in and call upon the spirit of lavender for peace, relaxation. You can add in rose for, I like to add it for like beauty sleep if I'm doing it just before bed, but you can use it for like harmony or to draw in love, or you can get really creative with it. Enchanted skincare. So Whether you cleanse your face and that's you done, or you have like an 11-step Korean skincare routine, you can still make this work for you. Like I says, like I just like to add these daily things into what I'm already doing. Obviously I do bigger glamour spells as well, but for the day-to-day, I kind of see this as like a spiritual upkeep kind of thing. Like boosting those parts of myself little by little every single day, because realistically we don't have time for big spells and big rituals every single day, so these little ones just help to bring like a little bit of magic into my mundane moments. So it's up to you if you want to consecrate specific products for specific things and how you want that to be. If you want that to be like a big elaborate thing that you do, so that can be like as simple as holding an item and putting your energy into it and stating that you declare this product is now for a specific reason, or you can do a lengthier spell or ritual. I'm not going to get into all the different ways that you can consecrate an item right here, right now. I would say if you do consecrate an item, it's going to make it all the more powerful because you've kind of decided this moisturizer is specifically to draw in positive attention. This serum is specifically to make me appear more beautiful. And then it kind of, again, it's layering in those intentions bit by bit. And with Glamour Magic, it's kind of like the layering that really makes it all kind of come together. And of course you can see if there's any ingredients in the products that you're using that fit what you're trying to achieve, and then you can call upon the spirit of that plant, flower, fruit, or whatever it is to assist you. Again, just makes it all the more powerful if what you're using kind of makes sense to me. It's like I'm always thinking about, and what else can I do to just amplify it a little bit more. I also like to speak aloud or in my mind an incantation or affirmation each time I use a specific product, even if it's already been consecrated to something. So I feel like it not only gives it more energy, again layering in that intention, but consistently telling yourself an affirmation over time helps your brain actually believe it. So if every single time, every single day, twice a day, when I put my moisturiser on, I tell myself that I am beautiful, confident and radiant, it's not only infusing that product with that intention as I apply it, it's telling myself that I am those things, and over time I can start to believe that I am those things. At one point it will become a habit, and eventually, without even thinking about it, over time, every single time you put your moisturiser on, your brain will start to subconsciously tell yourself, I am beautiful, confident and radiant. If I can speak it out loud, I like to speak it out loud because your words hold a certain vibration and hold a certain power. So again, it's just giving it a little bit more to it. But there might be some times where you want to say it in your mind as well, and of course that's totally fine. Again, I like to use different products for different reasons. Products that are already like cleansing or protective in nature, I'll use these to kind of either remove or repel negativity. So I have this AHA BHA toner that breaks down and removes dead skin cells, and it helps to also resurface new skin. So to me, that kind of pairs really well with helping to remove negativity and leave room for fresh, positive energy. If you wear an SPF, which you should be, SPF is obviously to block the sun's rays, and the sun is really associated with visibility and attention. So to me, this pairs well with repelling unwanted attention. So making sure that I clarify unwanted attention. I don't want to repel all attention. And then you can also use things like SPF for like the evil eye as well. Moisturizers and serums I feel are really good for beauty and self-confidence, especially when paired with the speaking affirmations to yourself in the mirror. Of course, you don't have to focus on beauty. You can have any intention that you like and play about with things that really make sense for you. Another layer that you can add onto this is using glyphs or a sigil that you have created specifically for that intention. So maybe you're going to be publicly speaking that day, and you have a sigil that you have created specifically. Maybe when you're putting your moisturizer on your throat, you draw that glyph here. I really like to work with planetary symbols. The Venus glyph is always good for beauty, love, harmony, that kind of like adoration, really positive attention, relationships. Mars is really, really good for protection, fire, kind of sexual energy, empowerment. Mercury is really, really good for communication of all kinds in the physical realm and in the spiritual realm. Makeup magic. As I said, this is one of my all-time favourite ways to work with glamour magic, just because I've always been really passionate about makeup and I've always been really passionate about witchcraft, so bringing them together only makes perfect sense. And you can get really creative and really fun with it, and like I said, it's something that I've had a lot of success with as well. So for me, it's a way to physically embody the vibe of what you're trying to project or what you are trying to attract. And kind of what you're trying to project and what you're kind of trying to attract are one and the same, because like I said, you kind of attract what you are. Like attracts like. If you're in the manifestation space, you know this. It's like whatever you are, whatever energy you're holding, whatever energy you're sending out is the energy that is vibrating towards you. And there are countless different ways that you can play about with this with makeup. I cannot possibly get into every single possible way that you can get into makeup magic. I would just suggest getting creative with it and doing what makes sense for you. So some things that you can do that are really simple is some colour magic, red lipstick to appear more sexy, seductive, passionate, to really draw in attention. Orange eyeshadow might bring more visibility, fun, vibrancy. A little bit of purple might appear more kind of mystical and a little bit more mysterious. You can even do like a whole makeup look based on what you want to attract or what you are working on attracting. Say even you are trying to attract a 2-week stay in the Maldives or something like that. I don't know. Maybe you do your makeup really beachy, bronzed goddess kind of look. You do your hair kind of wavy and stuff like that, if that's what you're trying to draw in that moment. But then of course, if you are trying to attract something like a super serious office job, then the look that you're going to want to embody might look a little bit different. So maybe you're going to have a super polished, very clean kind of professional makeup look. Or if you are an actor, maybe you want to embody the character that you're going to be stepping into, and then you are more seen as that character, kind of like how Glinda's took over Ariana Grande's mind, body and soul for the last couple of years. Although I can actually see her coming out of it. She's acting a bit more Ariana again. I've noticed Glinda has released her slightly, I think. You can also just add small little elements of this into your makeup routine with little affirmations. For instance, if you're putting on black eyeliner with the intention of protecting yourself from the evil eye, you might be putting it on and kind of either saying an incantation or thinking to yourself what that kind of energy feels like. maybe you add a little highlighter with the intention of grabbing attention and say something like, I am radiant and I confidently capture the attention of all the right aligned people, or something like that. Maybe you apply like a shimmery eyeshadow. You have the intention of, everybody who meets my gaze is mesmerised by me. You can apply lip products and state that your words are clear and confident and received well, or however you want your words to come across. Like I said, you can really just make it your own. Glamour hair routines. So when it comes to hair, there is a lot of things that you can do, unless you're like me and you're really shit hair stuff. God either grants you makeup powers or hair powers, and yeah, I can do makeup quite well, so I can't do hair. But I do like to do braids of intention in my hair. I can definitely, I can manage a plait, so at least we can do that. And it literally is as it sounds. You are braiding your hair and kind of infusing it with intention. So like protection's a really common one. Power, confidence, good luck, abundance. It can really be anything that you like. You can add ribbons into your braid, again bringing in like a little bit of colour magic, like black for protection, green for abundance, red for power, like pink for kind of soft, kind of love. Personally, I really like hair bows. I think because I'm not that good at styling hair, that I kind of think like, oh, if I shove a bow in, it kind of looks like I've tried. It also makes me feel very kind of girly and pretty and very Venusian. I just feel very nice with like a big, huge, oversized bow in my head. And again, I have lots of different colours, so that's a really good way for me to implement in that colour magic. Some of this stuff you might be doing without even realising that you're doing magic as well. Like a lot of you might be doing your makeup and knowing the exact vibe that you're going for and not really realising that that's like a form of glamour magic. Or you might be choosing a red bow that day because you want to appear more like like confident or whatever. But it's when you become aware of it and intentionally start to do it that it becomes all the more powerful. I mean, I really like hair accessories in general. I have these two little swords that I like to wear when I feel like I need like a little bit of like Mars protection, fuck you, stay the fuck away from me kind of energy. And if I've got my hair looking like a bun and then I've got like my little swords in my hair, I feel quite badass with that. A very unserious one that I do for just like a little bit of fun is I have some Pokemon claw clips, and if I'm wearing one of them, I like to pick kind of what vibe I want the day to be based on like the Pokemon that I pick. So I might pick like Charmander if I want like a little bit of extra like fire that day, or if it's like a very like chill lazy day and I just kind of want to be like left to my own thing and allowed to like rot on the couch, I might choose Snorlax. Like it's not that serious, and it just kind of makes my inner child happy, but again kind of intentionally choosing that kind of helps me embody the energy of what I'm wanting to bring about the day. A simple hair technique is to simply brush your hair and think about drawing intention down from the cosmos into your physical reality. Now this one is a new one for me. Angelica, who hosts the course that I spoke about, the Rule the Room, she spoke about this in the course and how mermaids would brush their hair to sink ships, and kind of like the intention of them doing that was what was like sinking the ship, and I loved that. Like obviously I'm not trying to sink any ships, I'm just trying to have a good day, but I do like to feel like a mermaid. So I will just kind of brush my hair, and I have like a little incantation that I normally say, but I'll also just kind of think about, okay, what am I actually trying to draw down from the cosmos and into my energy field as I do this. And then this one here is not so much like an everyday occurrence, but I thought I would mention it anyway, and it is to cut your hair. You kind of hear this all the time when people are going through a breakup or something, they will chop their hair off. So doing it on its own or part of a ritual is a really good way to physically cut something out of your life when you're done with it. Like, your hair holds all this like memory in it. It physically holds on, like, to like cells, and like, you know, like you can tell like a lot from people's like hair DNA. Energetically, it's holding on to that stuff as well. So kind of like cutting your hair is a good way to release the energy of the past and symbolically kind of say, that's me kind of moving on. I've physically transformed myself and released that and let go. Covering your hair is also a way to spiritually or energetically protect yourself. So the crown chakra is at the top of your head, and it's the energy center that is associated with spiritual connection. So some people really like to cover this area, especially when they're doing like spirit work and divination and things like that. It's also pretty good for avoiding attention from people in the physical world. Like I said, lots of people think that glamour's only for gaining attention, but it's also about kind of concealing and hiding yourself from unwanted attention as well. Again, a lot of ways is about pairing magical workings with practicality. So if I go out with like a cap on, I'm wearing all black, I'm kind of blending into the crowd. Even if I see someone I know, they are less likely to recognise me. Just like think about like Joe from You, and when he's got like that cap on, like magically no one can see him. Like he truly is like a glamour magic king. So like you kind of do like the physical stuff, and then adding in the glamour as an extra layer. So maybe the hat is one layer, and then you take some time to meditate on an invisibility shield around you as a second layer. Then you speak words of intention as another layer. Maybe you use a specific oil or a specific scent as another layer on top of that, and all of it together kind of builds and builds and builds to create your intention more and more and more. But of course you always want to do things that like make sense. Like if you are trying to hide yourself, don't make yourself physically very visible. So I wouldn't be like, well, I'm gonna like meditate and like with like a shield of invisibility, and I'm gonna wear a hat, but the hat I'm gonna wear is like one of those like those like colourful like umbrella hats that you get, and I'm going to wear like a yellow raincoat and big pink fairy wings, but because I've done my meditation, like I'm all good, nobody's going to see me. You know, the physical reality is still existing, so we want to be working with the physical reality as well. Perfume magic, I think I have spoke about this as well quite a lot, because it's one of my favourite ways of daily using magic, and has been for a really good few years now actually. It's something that I really, really love, and I think that you can get really kind of fun with it. And scent is one of those things that immediately evokes a feeling, a memory, or an emotion. Like you will be walking down the street and you will get a smell of someone's perfume, and all of a sudden you are transported back to your grand's house when you were 10 years old, and you're sitting on her couch and she's still alive and life feels good and everything feels lovely, and all of that came from just one smell of like someone's perfume walking down the street. And that in itself I think is truly magic. I mean, there was even once a time where scents and perfumes were thought of as medicine or healing remedies, and this practice dates back like thousands and thousands of years. Like they were doing this in like ancient Egypt and stuff, like a long time ago. Me being historically accurate, the ancient Egyptians were around a long time ago. But even like during the Black Plague and stuff, people would use scents as like a protection from illness. And while I'm obviously not suggesting that you throw out your prescription and sniff some essential oils instead, scent can be used as a very powerful magical tool, and scent is still often used for its different effects that it has on us. So it is quite widely agreed that, you know, lavender is relaxing, citrus scents uplift your mood, peppermint helps when you're feeling nauseous, woody scents are more grounding and calming. And you can use this in your everyday magical practice. I don't really have a signature perfume because of this. I really pick and choose my perfume depending on the vibe that I want to give off and bring into my day. I know most people maybe only have access to like 1 or 2 perfumes, and I'm quite lucky in that I have quite a big selection of perfumes to choose from. I work for a company that sells perfumes, so I get a really good discount on them, or I get a lot of them for free. That's why I have access to a lot of scents. I'm also a trained aromatherapist, so I do usually have some essential oils around the house as well. I've often got something lying around. But if you do just have like one signature scent that you use, I would say consecrate that for maybe a more broad intention, one that you know that you'll more than likely want for every single day. So this could be something like protection, grounding, positive attention, success, confidence, beauty. I wouldn't consecrate it for something that you know you're only going to want for a limited amount of time. Like if that's your one perfume that you've got, and you want to use it in your magical practice, I would say consecrate it to something that you know you're going to want every single day. So this might be something a little bit more broad and a little bit less specific. A shower ritual. Okay, I know a shower ritual is not exactly a revolutionary concept, and again I have spoke about this 1,000,001 times. Like I would honestly love to see how many videos I have mentioned a bath or shower ritual in. But you know what? It's easy, it's accessible, it's effective, it's so fucking good. This can literally be as simple as getting in the shower and asking the water to wash away any energy that no longer serves you. But as always, you can layer on top of it. I really like to visualise all that energy pouring off of me and going down the drain. I normally close my eyes and envision grey or black kind of murky water washing off of me and gradually getting clearer and clearer. I especially like this if I've had a particularly draining day, or I feel like I'm carrying a lot of other people's energy, or I just feel quite meh, or I feel stuck, and I feel quite uninspired. I just feel like it's a really good way to refresh your energy. Something you can add in is to work with the chakras in your shower ritual. So each of the 7 chakras hold a different energy. So depending on what you want to cleanse and refresh, or where you're feeling kind of stuck and murky, you can focus on a specific chakra. For example, if your mind feels like it's being quite kind of cluttered and your thoughts are all over the place, or you've got brain fog or whatever, you can focus on your head most of all, kind of focusing on the top 2 chakras. Maybe it's been a really emotional day and you focus the water on your heart chakra, or maybe your confidence is taking a hit and you focus the water on your solar plexus chakra. For this, I'd maybe kind of imagine the water running grey as before until it runs clear, and then once I've seen it run clear, I will kind of focus on that chakra and see the image of it building up and building up, the colour of it getting a little bit more vibrant. And I normally like to picture a swirling kind of ball of energy, almost as if it's alive inside me. I know some people like to think of a flower or another kind of image, but for me it's always this kind of sphere of kind of moving energy. So I just kind of hold that vision in my head and see it getting stronger and more bright and more vibrant and more moving and more alive. And then when I'd feel it was right, it would be right. As always, you can use products in the shower for magical purposes as well, much like we spoke about with like teas and skincare. You can use products containing ingredients that have specific properties that match your intention. For example, I'm just thinking of like really popular like scents like that you get in like shower gels. So you might have a rose shower gel for beauty or harmony, a mint shower gel for money, like while you're washing away all the old energy, you're also kind of like infusing your auric field with the new energy that you align with. Another example is my shampoo has rosemary in it, which is really good for like hair growth, so I could use affirmations or visualization to amplify that intention if that was something I was working on. But magically speaking, rosemary is very cleansing and protective and purifying. It's honestly one of my favourite herbs to work with. I get this really nice like feminine energy from rosemary as well. Like it's like protective, but it almost feels like quite comforting and soothing to me. So yeah, using like a rosemary shampoo kind of fits with removing old negative stagnant kind of energy. One of my favourite conditioners is Happy Joy from Lush, and the name kind of gives away the vibe of the product. And there it's got neroli and it's got orange flower in there, so it feels very uplifting, very joyful, very sunshiny. So pairing my shampoo and conditioner together kind of has the intention of removing all the old energy that I don't want, and then kind of bringing in all that kind of positive energy that I do want. And again, you can be much more specific than that, of course. For example, calling on the spirit of rosemary to protect you from a very specific thing or a very specific person. Or calling on the spirit of orange flower to amplify your visibility at a networking event that you're going to, or to amplify your creativity, or if you're a content creator online, to amplify your visibility to align subscribers. If you want to do a kind of deeper energetic cleanse, like if you're going for like an everything shower, I really like body scrubs, obviously. So body scrubs already physically scrub away dead skin cells, and it has like this kind of like renewing vibe to it. So again, it makes sense to use that energetically as well. So a salt scrub is really good because salt, as I'm sure you already know, is cleansing and protective. Coffee scrubs are really, really powerful for uncrossing rituals. I love a bath ritual more than anything in the entire world. I kind of prefer a shower ritual to like cleanse the day off for more of like a quick energetic shift, but a bath ritual I love for when I really want to immerse myself into a specific energy. Again, if you don't have a bath, you can just have a more luxurious shower. I just love my bath. I love my bath. Honestly, in my world, there isn't a problem that can't be remedied at least a little bit by a really long bath. And I think like if you take the time, bath or shower, to light candles that align with the energy that you want, to listen to music, to use products, you can add herbs into the bath, you can even have like a herb bundle hanging on your shower, you can draw sigils in your bath water before you get in. And for a bath, I just love the idea of having, say for instance, like a bath bomb or herbs or both or whatever, and you're literally like baptizing yourself in that water. Like you're like in there and you're setting the intention of when you step out, that energy is going to have infused your auric field and you're just going to come out feeling totally renewed. Honestly, my passion for baths is unmatched. I will probably talk about bath rituals in another video. If you want this like entire podcast or YouTube channel to be a complete bath magic channel. Like, I will happily do that. Oh my god, maybe I should start doing that as like a series, like bath of the week, or what I do for like my baths on like the new and full moon and stuff like that. Is that something that you'd be interested to see? Or would that be really boring to everyone but me? I might do it anyway, because yeah, I feel like that kind of matches where I want my life to go. Anyway, thank you so much for watching / listening, and until next time, bye.